And here we are, a quarter of the way. Kinda. We're almost through there. We're starting up. It's week 5. We're getting ready. It's walking the wire time. Here we go. Yo! What's happening, everybody? We're back with another episode of Too Much Fantasy Football. We're walking the wire. It's waiver wire time here on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. So excited to have any of you guys hanging out with me here today. We're going through the chats. We're answering any questions you have. I keep saying we. It's just me. Brenton's here. No, it's just me, folks. Kicked him out of here. I needed some one-on-one time with you, folks. We got to dive in here, go through some of these nasty lineups, going through the waiver wire, checking it out, seeing what we've got here. So let's get it started. Let's get excited. We've got quite a bit to talk. Anybody have anything, throw it in the chat. Get it started there. We will, boom, get that all set up. Awesome. Yeah, waiver wires. Big injuries hitting last night. A couple of games. Not quite our last doubleheader we'll have on Monday night, but it's the last one for a little bit here. I mean, obviously, I think the biggest one, the most horrific one, the one we have to talk about is Tyreek Hill going down last night. If you didn't see the video, most would say don't watch it. I did. I wasn't ready for it. I clicked on it because I didn't quite see the play happen as it unfolded or unrolled. Yeah, joking there. Sorry, too soon. But yeah, it's bad. It's rough, but we're gonna see what we can do. Joshua hopping in here early. The first comment: "What's happening, man? Glad you're here. Should I drop Njoku to pick up Brenton Strange? I would. I was really hoping Fannin was going to give us, the other Browns tight end. Thought he was going to give us some work. At this point, it's not happening. They're decapitating each other. So, yeah, go with Brenton Strange. He seems to be the only consistent piece in the passing game right now since Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. don't want to do anything for us. So, yeah, go after Brenton Strange. I've been throwing him out there almost every week as a possible streaming option as a tight end. But, yeah, going back to the Tyreek Hill thing, nasty, absolutely nasty roll up there. Darren Waller, I'm sure, is going to be picked up quite a bit. So, Josh, if you're also looking for something there too, I mean, Darren Waller, there's worse what pickups you could have. Do you think I would regret that later in the season? I doubt it. Are you going to regret it 2, maybe 3 times over the course of the season? Probably. I'm sure Njoku's not going to be an absolute dud across the season, but at this point, you're hoping to pick out that right time when he actually blows up, and I don't think you're going to not pick it accurately anyway, especially with Fannin in there, like I said, kind of cutting into the work. If anything, you're probably just dropping another landmine, because I'm sure if I saw him on my waiver wire, I'd be tempted. I'd be looking at it, but I don't think I'd pull the trigger, and somebody will. So, yeah, not saying you absolutely won't regret it. There's still a chance, he could be the number 1 tight end. No, Joe Flacco, it's not looking pretty out there, so I don't know if you're going to get anything consistent with that. Albert popping in the trap. What's happening, man? Glad to see you here for another week here on Walking the Wire, the waiver wire show on Fantasy Football Advice Network. If you're new, if you're just popping in, if you like what you're seeing, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We're going to have fun over the next hour here on the show. Ooh, Waller is Strange. Okay, I think Strange is going to be a safer floor. But when you're at the tight end position, you got to shoot for the moon. I'd go Waller. Now, I just actually got done writing an article about his usage there. Usage wasn't great, but it was also his first game back. He had 4 targets, 2 of those being in the red zone, and we saw what Jonnu Smith was. Tyreek's down. There's going to be targets aplenty, so I'd shoot the shot at Waller. I'm sure there's going to be quite a few people going after him in waiver wire, so put it on the big bid on Waller and then drop $1 on Strange. Nobody's going after Strange, so I think that's kind of like your stealing and then your floor approach for it. We got Pokevar City coming in here. Trade Dobbins and Laporta for McBride. I'm down. Sam Laporta is nothing more than a streaming tight end at this point. There's like 6, maybe 7 guys I really want rest of the season as far as like don't want to have to worry about dropping and picking up. Laporta's not on that list, so J.K. Dobbins, man, 3 touchdowns in the first 3 weeks, 100 yards this past week. I think that's enough that I'd be willing to trade him, especially seeing the usage that we got out of R.J. Harvey. The second-round rookie is going to get used at some point this season. Should. Not guaranteed that, but like most likely what they spent on him, they're trying to be a contender here. They will be using R.J. Harvey some more. J.K. Dobbins, he's broke my heart year after year with those injuries. So, yeah, I'd move on for him. I love the move. Even if you can't, depending on what you're looking at, I don't even mind going after Warren as well. Maybe even Bowers. People on Bowers are a little, they're hurting right now. Jason, what's happening? 2 QB league. That's what I like to hear. QBs are Lamar, Baker, and Penix. Penix is on bye week 5. Lamar is not ruled out to use an IR spot. Not yet. It's going to be hard. Would you drop Diggs, Calvin Ridley, or Judy to add Cooper Rush? I dropped Judy. Diggs just got an influx as far as his usage this past week. I believe he had 9 of the 17 targets, or 7 of the 17 targets, something like that. Huge. I think it was like 41% of the target share. Calvin Ridley, that one hurts. That one hurts too. Again, another old vet getting work. But yeah, Judy, again, kind of going back to the Cleveland. Somebody was just talking about Njoku. I just don't know if I want to play that game with the Browns. And rookie Isaiah Bond seems to be coming up. So yeah, I'd probably drop Judy. Cooper Rush. Is that what we're locked in on? Who are they? I'm trying to remember who they're playing this week. The Cowboys playing the Jets. Cooper Rush against the Jets. Come on, we gotta have a better streamer out there, right? Hopefully, maybe Dart. Fingers crossed. He's got a pretty good matchup this week. What's up, dude? How we doing? We got a question here. Someone sent me Fields, Waddle, and Swift in a Superflex Dynasty for Tet McMillan. Feel like that's not way too much value to pass up. Yeah, if you're competing this year, I don't mind it. Tet McMillan, he looks like he might have a upward battle here if Bryce Young can't get it figured out like he did at the end of last year. Waddle, I like his dynasty value, especially with this. I mean, especially with the Tyreek injury. We're not happy. We're not happy he got hurt, but just understanding that Waddle is now the future. Tyreek Hill could be done as far as his career in Miami. Waddle is going to be the guy going forward, and Fields is a great play this year as well. I don't know exactly what his. I'm in first. Yeah, hey, at that point you're going to hold down a championship roster. I think that helps you. I absolutely think Waddle is going to have a higher ceiling at this point than Tet. And like I said, with the Fields and the Swift, those are just 2 extra pieces that hopefully you get something next year, but at least this year that you'll definitely be contending. So yeah, go for it. I like it. Yeah, there we go. That's what I needed. Now I have Herbert and Fields with Stroud on the bench. It's not bad. Not bad. Stroud's got you a decent floor there. Fields is your huge variance, your week winning. And then Herbert, he's looking good this year. Hasn't been great the last couple of weeks, but I feel like top 8, top 10 should be pretty obtainable for him the rest of the season. No problem. Appreciate you hanging out with us just like everybody else. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out. If you want to join in the party, hop in the comments, go for it. I'm here for anything. Fantasy football advice, life advice. No, you don't want life advice from me. But yeah, anything you want here. If not, I'm just going to be rambling through the waiver wire. That's what we're talking here on Walking the Wire on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. Talking about those waiver pickups. Let's check out some of the other guys. I guess let's talk injuries. So we talked about Tyreek Hill. It's definitely going to do a big bump for Jalen Waddle. Darren Waller, we've already talked about a little bit how I don't care how you feel about it. His music videos aside, folks, he's going to be involved at this point. So got to go after him. And then Malik Washington, 12-team plus leagues, maybe even like the chopped leagues because there's still several teams. He might be somebody to look at. And then NWY is still there. If you'll remember Nick Westbrook-Akine last year, I think it was 8 of 9 weeks to finish the season, had a touchdown, had 9 of 9 touchdowns. He doubled up one of the weeks. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Hated the waiver wire suggestion every week. There we go. We need one of those. Other injuries. Ooh. God, don't do that to me. What are you doing, really? Browns just signed Malachi Corley to active roster. Dude, the amount of wide receivers running through here. I really don't know what to think of that. It just seems like it's going to be another depth piece. We have Cedric Tillman's going to be out for some time with that hamstring injury, so that'll be interesting to see if he makes his way into the starting lineup with Isaiah Bond and Jerry Jeudy. I just don't know how much. I mean, this was my huge problem with all of the Browns coming into this summer. It just wasn't something I wanted to buy into. I love the storyline. I loved Flacco. What can he do with all of this? We saw greatness at the end of 2 years ago, folks. That's the hard thing. The guy's either 40 now or approaching 40 or was approaching 40. And we were banking on the small sample size we got at the end of the season. It's the reason he's not a starter in the league. He makes some fantasy magic, but he's not Jameis. Come on. Malik Neighbors, though, torn ACL. This one hurts. This one really hurts. Just in the fact of we finally got Jackson Dart. We got the big win for the Giants. A glimmer of hope. This team's not going to be great, but the defense could be just good enough. Now Jackson Dart losing seemingly like his only, I guess not only, playmaker he has on the team. He has Scatterbone back there. Now we're looking at a montage of Wan'Dale Robinson, some Sterling Shepard. No. Oh my gosh, not Sterling Shepard. The other one. Yep, Slayton, Darius Slayton. Goodness, Shepard's down there with the Bucks. He was up top, so don't hate me too much for that one. Yeah, what was I saying? With Darius Slayton now, so Theo Johnson, the second-year tight end out of Penn State's looking like he might be more and more involved. So he's somebody I'm kind of kicking the tires, or at least throwing on my radar as far as tight ends go, just because it's rough out there in the streets. We've got Lamar. Hamstring got announced recently. He is going to miss week 5. Look, we've already got people in the chat. What was it? Yeah, Jason there trying to pivot to Cooper Rush. It's going to be bad, especially with 4 more quarterbacks on bye, with the bye week starting up. As far as other quarterbacks you could be looking at here, I have Matthew Stafford. Superflex league, he's probably going to be picked up. McCarthy could be coming back from injury this week. And Sam Darnold, single quarterback leagues, him and Stafford are probably out there. Somebody you could definitely pivot to. Look, Sam Darnold. I thought the Geno Smith and Sam Darnold, I was on the Geno side. Looking like I was wrong after this past summer. So definitely something that I don't know. What is with the Seahawks? Like, the offense looks good at times, but then other times I'm like, you check out the box score, it's not quite that great. Like, is this just us feeding off of the special teams touchdowns, the defensive touchdowns? The defense is playing really good. I guess I was hoping for a little bit more give as far as like the offense needing to compete some more, but I don't know if that's quite what's holding us back there. Other injuries, we've got Bucky Irving. Actually, I forgot to look that up today. I haven't seen any updates on him. If any of y'all have anything on Bucky, come on, feed it up. Any insiders, anybody's like uncle or nephew or niece works for the Bucks and they got something, throw it out here, folks. We all need the info, especially going to the waivers. As of right now, though, what do we have? 23 hours ago, update. Nice. We appreciate that there. Todd Bowles, really great. So I guess at that point, 10-team league, looking at Rashad White. If Bucky's going to miss, 12-plus team league, it's going to be Sean Tucker. Pretty excited about some Tucker action, but does he get the action we really want? Evan, what's happening? Got a trade question. Should I trade away Mark Andrews for Rashad White? If somebody will take it, absolutely, 100%. Mark Andrews he's a streamer for me at this point, so he can hit waiver wires when needed. I lost James Conner for the year and have Kincaid at tight end, so I can afford to move Andrews. With Bucky hurt, should I do it? Yeah, absolutely. I'd 100% trade Mark Andrews for Rashad White. If we're being honest, I kind of like Kincaid as a trade away right now. I know it's looking good. He's been performed in 3 of the last 4 weeks, but his peripherals aren't good. I believe it was a 9% target share is what he's working with. The other 2 tight ends are getting worked into this offense, and I think the Bills are the only team they had last week. They had 6 guys, or 10 guys with 6 targets. Is that what it was? Something like let me pull up those numbers because then I'm just kind of talking my ass right now. But either way, the Dalton Kincaid's outperforming the usage that he's getting, I guess, end of the day. So if you can find somebody to flip him, I don't mind that either. Taking a shot is like we kind of talked about. Darren Waller potentially could. I'm not saying I would trade Kincaid over. Like, I do the Andrews and Rashad White. I do that one straight up. I love that trade. If you can get that done, that sounds perfect, especially with Rashad White potentially coming into some work. It's more so I'm saying that I also like the idea of trading Kincaid. Darren Waller is going to be popping up on waiver wires. Mason Taylor for the Jets looks like he's getting a lot more work there for that offense, so he could be there. At the end of the day, if you don't have one of those top 5 guys, you're streaming position. as good as Kincaid's been, I still view him as a streamer. So I'm not saying you have to get rid of him. Don't think you have to do that. Go force it. I'm just saying I think you could capitalize on trading Kincaid. You know, would be there any way you could go get what's his name, Warren, Colts rookie? That'd be dope. Then again, tight end for tight end trade doesn't always happen. But yeah, just throwing it out there. Love the Andrews for Rashad White trade. I think that's what we really need to take away from it. 2 hours ago, Buck coach is worried about Bucky injury. All right, there we go. See, that's the insiders we need here in the chat, feeding us that information. Worried about Bucky. So it looks like we do need to put a little heat behind these FAB bids when it comes down to Rashad White and Sean Tucker. Sean Tucker, man, I'd be a lot more afraid to start him in a 10-team league, especially this first week, not knowing how the split's going to be. But they split up these running backs. You know, they just divvy out the work. And he's lightning in a bottle. He could break out. But Rashad White's been fine. You know, he hasn't been Bucky. That's why he lost the job. But he has been just fine as far as his role there with the Buccaneers. You know, his first year without him, he gave us solid numbers. He can carry the workload. You know, we've seen him get it 20 to 30 times. Yeah, Bucky's got the ankle injury. Oh, it's ankle. I guess I actually never saw that. I knew he was getting the MRI. So it is an actual ankle injury confirmed. Love that. Appreciate it, fellas. Hooking us up here. So yeah, I'm depending on how badly I need it, you know, somewhere in that 20 to 40% for Rashad White. Ankle injury sometimes 1 to 3 weeks is what it can be if it's a high ankle sprain. So yeah, we'll be here for another 40 minutes. Anybody else getting more information on Bucky? Hit us up, help us out. We've got decisions to make going into waiver wires tonight. Who else we want to talk about here? I mean, Jake Tonjes, like while we're talking about tight ends here, you want to get crazy, you want to get nasty. Go get Jake Tonjes, possibly. Feed him in there because, yeah, Ricky Pearsall, banged up. Juwan Jennings should have gone out there, still banged up. Kittle's still on IR. Like, CMC won't make it through the season at this rate. I'm not hoping I hope he does. I've got way too much of him, but, like, I'm worried about the guy. I want them to pass out the ball a little bit more. Like, give me some more Brian Robinson, just a little bit. Not near the goal line. Don't do that. What do we have in here? Steven popping in. Thoughts on dropping Henderson and grabbing... Ooh, that one's tough. That one's tough. I definitely want Woody Marks. You need to go put out a swing for him. I don't want to drop Henderson. If you're looking at dropping Henderson... Oh, that just seems so rough at this point. Did you draft really, really well in a 12-team league, or are you in a 10? Because that'll give me a little bit more context of what your waiver wire is kind of looking like. Or also, what else is sitting on your bench? Is there somebody else we could drop? Or there's also, like, my home league, I usually drop my kicker and or my defense for running back / wide receivers. So, like, I'll go into Saturday and Sunday without a kicker or defense, giving me time to maybe do a 2-for-1 trade so I don't have to drop a player to the waiver wire while trying to block them. It's obnoxious, pain in the ass. My league mates know what I try to do every time, but it's leverage. You just try to get some leverage. So, yeah, got Gibbs, Mason, Chase Brown. Okay, 10-team. Okay, that makes it a little bit more... Goodness, that's hard. Chase Brown's getting all the work. Like, all of the work, but does it actually amount to anything? Then Henderson's getting none of the work, but he's on the better team and has way more explosiveness. Yeah, that's hard. Definitely not dropping Gibbs or Mason. Chase Brown. Yikes. I guess so. Maybe if you can trade Henderson or Chase Brown before waivers go tonight, because yeah, you definitely need to pick up Woody. I think he has RB2 with some upside, with just upside each and every week going forward. Yeah, drop your kicker and grab Woody. I know ESPN. My mother-in-law plays in the ESPN league where you can only have 4 wide receivers, only have 4 running backs. So I try to get her to drop, a kicker and pick up an extra running back till we can figure out what we're going to do, and it won't let her. So if it doesn't let you, you might have to drop. Either Henderson or Chase Brown. Yuck, that stinks. But yeah, otherwise I would be dropping your kicker and or defense, depending on which defense it is. Yeah, because I don't want to drop Henderson. I don't. I think there's so much upside down the road for him. Theo Johnson will be another good tight end. I agree. I agree. We kind of talked about that neighbor's injury. Someone's going to have to jump up. This past week, Theo Johnson had a 24% target share in that offense. Very, very athletic tight end coming out of Penn State. So that's kind of what you want to shoot for when you're aiming for these upside, these streaming tight ends. Do they have the ability to be a top two target? And do they have that athleticism to get you that run after the catch, that Tucker Kraft ability that we're looking at right now this season? Would you play Rattler over Purdy, even if Purdy plays? I think I'd play Purdy over Rattler. Let me see the matchup. Almost finished with my rankings. They'll be posted here about 5 p.m. today. I'll have my rankings finished up. Need just a little bit of time to tweak stuff after the live stream. Yeah, you got Purdy against the Rams, and then you got Rattler against the Giants. Yeah, I don't see myself. I don't like Rattler. I like the Giants a lot this week as far as the streaming defense goes. So I'd keep Purdy. It's a rough matchup, but he still played pleasantly well this past week. I believe he was just a couple points away from being in the top 12 this week, or like fractions of a point from being tying away. So yeah, give me Purdy. Yeah. Yep, always stream the kicker. That's right. Kicker, quarterback, tight end, defense. You can stream them all, folks. Unless you're in a super flex, I stream this year I'm not having a stream. When you can get Drake May and Daniel Jones late, folks, it's been great with the quarterbacks this year. But yeah, those other positions I definitely am a big fan of. Woo! All right, trade alarm. I need sound effects. Where are my sound effects going for my trade? How about no, that's my it's my Daniel Jones music. How about that? That'll be the trade alarm. All right, what are we looking at? Trade Ibuka, Worthy, and Swift for Rice, Dunze. Okay, Joe Mixon I don't care about. So if they're offering you Joe Mixon, maybe see what else they have. Do they have a kicker, a defense, ham sandwich? Yeah, I really could care less about Joe Mixon this year. If you have the spot to put him on your IR and you want to get him in the trade, go for it. But that part really doesn't get my engine moving. I would 100% do this. If you're 3-1 or 4-0, I would do this. Rice comes back in a couple of weeks. Odunze's on his his bye week after this. You'd have him for the rest of the season. Ibuka, I like him. I love the talent. It's been awesome, but the touchdowns, they're not going to keep coming, right? Like, come on. Mike Evans comes back. Like, this, it's just the numbers. I don't think the touchdowns will continue. They can. I don't know if they will. Look at that, 4-0. Yeah, I take this. Even if it sets you up for a loss this week, not being able to play Rice or Odunze, yeah, I like it. That looks like a sweet playoff run. Odunze's in the process of breaking out this year. Rice should be absolutely, just wheels up, especially when, compared to Worthy over there. Yeah, I'd take the trade. I love it. Judson, sounds like Mixon isn't coming back as soon as a couple days. Yeah, I saw that report. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't intrigue me. Even if he does come back, he's had this foot injury for like 18-ish months, foot ankle combination. And when you really get down to it, this offensive line is crap. The offense in general is crap. It's not looking great for me as far as the Texans go. And Woody Marks, the reason I was into him coming into this is because he's the running back you target when you have a crappy offense, when you have to dump it off, when you can make plays via, through the air, through the passing, just because those receptions are so much more valuable than the touches. Now, will he be getting all the red zone work? I hope so. But, that's not locked in. But, yeah, Mixon, I'm not really interested in that at all. Cole, love the 4-0 team. Absolutely. Look, I got to go get second, third, fourth opinions, and when they still don't line up, sometimes I get that fifth opinion. No, I feel you though. How much FAB is too much for Woody? I got 85 left. Joe Mixon out for the year. I don't think it's been officially announced, but it's there. It's there. We're not hoping on it. These questions are always so hard. You got $85 left. I'd probably be somewhere in that wheelhouse of like 60, 70-ish%. But a lot of this just depends on your FAB. Does your league regularly go after these guys? Do they hit it hard? And like, Have you seen people go for 80, 90, 100% of the fab? Or are they, because I was talking to a guy, we were talking to a guy last week. He's like, yeah, I think the most fab ever spent on a given player has been like $20. So if that's the case, then $25. Guarantee you get them, but don't swing everything. It also depends on how bad you need them, Jason. Is your team hurting? You got multiple guys on a bye week. Did you have Bucky Irving? How does that look at you? But as far as like the best prize out there, I think it is going to be Woody Marks and most waiver wires. So pay up, pay up. Just I wouldn't do all 85. Leave yourself a little bit of coin there at the end. That stinks. All those neighbors people. I didn't have him as much in redraft this year, but a lot of my dynasty teams are hurting right now. He's going down, kills my wide receiver room. Got Jacoby. You got Ellick and Diggs. Should I use my number one priority on Malik Washington, Slayton, or Tolbert? These are hard. I need to make sure I join a priority waivers league next year. Just because I haven't played in one in a long time, it's kind of hard to give a reference to this. I wish it would be a little bit more locked in. So I wouldn't think you would have to burn your number one priority. I feel like Woody Marks would kind of enter that category of using your number one. I imagine it's 12-team league if you're looking at these players. You should be able to get one, if not two of them. Because only having three wide receivers, I'd probably want to add two at least. But you should be able to get away with just picking up after not having to use the number one priority. But it also kind of depends your situation and how deep is that waiver wire. Is this all you've got? Yes, my bro, my wide receivers are thin. It's rough. When you miss out on some of those late swings, not getting like a Keenan Allen or some of the, a QJ off waivers or there in week one, injuries they'll knock you down fast. But yeah, I don't necessarily think you need to burn it. I think you can hold on to that. Maybe take Woody with that, and then your next pick, grab one of those wide receivers. Jason, I can maybe start Woody because I have an empty flex with buys. I got Terry, Dowdy plays. I got White if Bucky's out, then Woody if I get him. I put $25 on him. I like that. If your league isn't overly ambitious, I think 25 should be able to get him. Hopefully. I picked him up so many times last week. I dropped him. My home league, I dropped him right before kickoff because I needed to pivot with Marcus Mariota. Absolutely kicking myself on that one. But yeah, I think it looks good. It looks good. Let me see where I've got them. Got them in my ranks going into this week. Because Woody, they've got a rough matchup. Don't they play the Rams? Isn't that right? No, they play Baltimore. That's right. And Baltimore's just been hemorrhaging points. Despite them having so many talented pieces on defense, they're just absolutely hemorrhaging points. So Woody Marks should be able to get some stuff done. Someone spent $20 for Trey Tucker. Oh, wow. The fact that Kraft was on waivers, $78, that makes sense. 20 for Trey Tucker. Yeah, you might have to spend closer to 50 then. 38 for Goff. Yikes. Especially when he had such the down game. Imagine if they picked him up after this past week. Yeah, you might have to go a little closer to 40 or 50 if you want him if Trey Tucker went for 20. But that's, again, your league better than me. Woody should do great against Baltimore. Yeah, if anybody's got a chance, it's him and Nico, and that's about it. Cole, come on. We're having good conversations here. We're trying to help some things out, and then you're going to bring me this. Should I still be holding on BTJ? I don't know. I'm just as panicked as you are. I really don't know. As far as process over results, I'd still say yes. I don't want to drop him. Travis Hunter is somebody that I've gotten to the point where, like, I picked him up in several leagues this year, so I am at the point where I'm needing to drop him going into week 5 with the buys, with the injuries. BTJ, I won't be dropping, I guess, if that's the should I be holding on to him question. Trading away, I guess depends what you're going to get. If you can get a piece that helps your team and you're 2-2, 1-3, I completely get it. You're going to have to. Like, you're going to have to ship off pieces, and it might be the better decision. We might just see the running game really excel, and then the passing kind of bounce around between Strange, between Hunter, between Parker Washington, BTJ, Diami Brown when he comes back. So he still has league win. You know, just we saw what he could be last year. Maybe it's Trevor Lawrence holding him back. I don't know. Maybe it's the yips. Either way, I'm gonna hold on to him if I can. You know, if you've got three or four wins, I'm gonna see if I can patch together a team. But I don't. I'm not gonna. You know, if you have to do it, you got to do it. I completely get it. Yeah, you can't drop BTJ just yet. I agree. Can't believe I got Fields as my last pick of the draft. QB1. I picked up Fields off waivers in several leagues. I think a couple of them might have been 10-team leagues, but it's wild the roller coaster of emotions. You know, him being drafted as that late round gem, performing in week one, and then the injury and kind of the dud. And then he does great last night, and that's how it's going to be. But hey, Jason crushed it. Great pick there at the end. I traded for Ladd so cheap. I hope he wakes up as my wide receiver 3 now instead of most people wide receiver 1 or 2. You can hope for it. I've got one league where I have traded for him. Most of my leagues, I had Keenan Allen, so I've missed out on QJ because I wasn't willing to pick him up because I had Keenan Allen, and kind of in that limbo of love to trust that Keenan Allen's going to last all season, but with his age, maybe he won't. QJ's looking like the one, and everybody swears by Ladd's metrics. He's still performing at the level that he was last year. It should all come together. And now Amari and Hampton's wanting to break out. So I'm in a tailspin as far as it comes to the Chargers. I like them. I want the pieces. I just don't know how necessarily we're going about all of that. It's wild. Oh, sweet. It's the end of them. Oh, no. Jason coming back in. Saving the day. Almost ran out of the chat here. Our Slayton, Bond, Dobbs, Malik, Worth, waivers. Malik. Is that like in place of Malik Worth? Because Darius Slayton, I think in a 12-team league, I definitely Dobbs and Bond in 12-team. Yeah, I think all three of these guys in 12-team leagues definitely targets for me for the waiver wire. 10-team leagues, maybe not as much. I'm pretty sure there's going to be other guys that might be interesting. But as far as Dobbs goes, you're going to have, I think it's Tucker Kraft. And then after that, you're not going to, Tucker Kraft and Josh Jacobs. And then after that, it's going to be good luck you picked the right week. I don't know if Golden's actually going to be a stud. I think he might be just a really talented wide receiver 2 for his team going forward. Not necessarily wide receiver 2 in fantasy, but like his team's wide receiver 2. I don't know if he's going to be the alpha. So as far as like him and Dobbs, I think it's going to kind of be a rotation basis. Darius Slayton, he was pretty good last year as far as first three targets, the target that he commanded on the market share for the team. So I definitely like picking him up. 10-team leagues, I might actually be interested in him as well. Then you got the rookie Isaiah Bond there for the Browns. I don't know. Ask yourself, do you want to own a Browns wide receiver? I don't think I do. I love following the hype of Tillman going into the season. You know, we had that first great game, but my big issue for all of this was just the consistency, the quarterback play, the team situation. You know, I completely get that we've got, Tillman on IR. Like, yeah, I get it. We got that there. It's just are you going to be happy? You know, are you going to be putting him out there and he has the chance to get you 14 points as his max? Or can he actually get you, a 20-point game and really break out? Or are there going to be other options? So, situationally, it's going to be like if I had to rank them, I'd probably go Slayton, Bond, Dobbs as you have them. Just like Dobbs, I know he had 3 touchdowns, but we know what he is. I talked last week on the show how like he has multi-touchdown games. Like it's kind of his bread and butter. Like the amount of times he does score touchdowns, more often than not, it's multi-touchdowns. So I don't know if that'll be coming in for a while. Slayton, again, you can kind of plug in. Malik Washington for the Dolphins. I think I'd rather have Warren. Warren, oh my God. The bad rapper. Oh my God. We just saw him last night. I mean, come on, somebody help me out here. I'm drawing a blank. Freaking, I haven't said his name in multiple years. Now it's killing me. And it's just getting worse as time is. Darren Waller. Holy crap. Yeah, Darren Waller is the guy we're looking at. I think I'd rather own him at this point over Malik Washington there for the Dolphins. 2 is streaky, 2 is bad. It's not great for the Dolphins, so I don't know how deep I want to go as far as the pecking order. Mark Andrews or Hunter Henry? Give me Hunter Henry. Mark Andrews is going to be a streamer for me the rest of the season. I mean, Hunter Henry is too, but Henry is the number one. It seems like maybe number two as far as the pass catchers go. Mark Andrews somewhere there in like third or fourth, and you've got Lamar Jackson missing time. So yeah. Second question: pick up Prescott, Dart, or Stroud if Lamar is out. So Dart, I don't mind this week. He's got a good matchup against the Saints. After that, he's got two of his next three against Philly, and I don't remember the meat in that sandwich, but those next three games could be a little harder just without neighbors. Prescott I do like, and then Stroud. If you don't get the other two, you can take Stroud. So I'd probably order them Prescott, Darts, yeah, as you have them there. Cowboys play. Let me pull up my rankings here. Actually, play the Jets. Yeah, give me Dak. Give me Dak, Dart, Stroud as far as that order. And then yes, Henry over Mark Andrews. Yeah, Tillman's on IR. We're looking for the other guy. We're looking at Isaiah Bond potentially. Am I gonna pick him and never play him? Like, am I just gonna pick this guy up and putting him on my bench and like, maybe I'll play him? I don't know. And yeah, Gabriel might start. We might get Shador at some point, but I don't know. I just don't know if they can support consistent, reliable fantasy targets, especially with two tight ends being in that pecking order as well. Flacco bench for Gabriel. Not even Sanders. So sad. I hate starting Njoku, man. I need a tight end. Yeah, I'm out on the Browns tight ends at this point. Should I trade DJ Moore for Kraft? If the owners, I 100%, yeah. If you can get DJ for Kraft, I 100% smash that. If the owner says no, how about Mason Taylor with Field stack? I mean, stack or no stack, I do like the options of Mason Taylor. They said they were going to get him more involved this past week, and they definitely did that. So I'm a big fan there. Judson, thank you. Thank you. Helping me out there with Waller. I don't know where that was. Just absolutely lost there in my mind. Waller for the tight end question. Thanks, fellas. Thanks, fellas. And yeah, definitely. I agree with you, man. I like Jason Taylor here. It's gonna be week 5. You know, usually it's year 4, year 5 for those tight ends to break out. But I'm saying week 5. Let's get it happening. Let's make it here because the Jets, like, they've got nobody else. Like, I put a bet on Josh Reynolds this past week. His over underline was 9.5 yards for the Jets. He didn't hit it. 9.5 yards. I'm like, come on, he's got one catch in him. Nope. Would you trade George Pickens for Drake London? Oh, both these guys have it's juicy for the next month for these fellas. George Pickens, as long as CeeDee Lamb is out, I think he's going to absolutely feast. And even when Lamb comes back, he's still going to be like probably 2/3 of the time he's going to blow up for you. So I really like Pickens. As far as yards go, and the Cowboys' offense is number 1, defense is number 32. So it's a perfect combination. This is the Bengals of 2024 there in Dallas. And Drake London, I was just actually finishing up a short I'm going to be doing on him here today, and it was just about his split. Like, when you look at the difference between when you have Darnell Mooney in there and when you have Drake London, it's wild. So Drake London's 100-yard games over the last 2 years, 187 yards. Mooney was inactive. 154 yards. Mooney was gone. Mooney hurt a hamstring, 110 yards. Mooney hurt a shoulder, 106 yards. His splits when Mooney is in, it's only 57.8 yards per game. So, like, there's a huge difference between when you have him in there. And if you pulled a hamstring, that's 3 to 4 weeks, folks. That's great. So I think both of these guys have a great future, like short-term future, but I'm going to go with London having the better overall future. You know, it's the talent. It's amazing, folks. Fellas, is Achane a must keep now? 100%. Achane was coming in. I think I had him ranked 4th or 5th, just a little bit over ECR coming into the draft season. Really loved Achane. It's been bad. It wasn't great those first couple weeks, especially having to see Tua absolutely just crap the bed the first couple weeks. But now with Tyreek Hill out, I mean, those targets usually get consolidated to the running back position here. We know Darren Waller is going to step in and take a little bit more. Waddle should be absolutely feasting. But Achane, super excited. I'm not selling him at this point. I mean, if you want to sell him in a couple weeks, I think your window will the window gets bigger the longer you wait. So yeah, I'm full in on Achane right now. Should get more passes now. Great call. Great call. I've heard that before. What else we got? BMW. What else we have? That's my thought as well. But someone is shopping Amon-Ra for a tight end, running back, and a wide receiver. They showed interest in Achane or Hampton, which I have both of. I mean, Amon-Ra is tempting. I'd love to have him on my team, but having a 1-2 punch of Achane and Hampton, plus having Tucker Kraft, like difference-making tight end, top 3 rest of the season. Kraft will be top 3, top 4 if you want to. Semantics if you want to slide in Kittle, but no, I guess it depends on how deep your running backs are, but giving up 2 studs like that would be, I guess it says Achane or Hampton, so you're not giving up both. Brian, read the question. Come on, get it together. Either way, I like with the 1-2 punch of having both. I'm 3-1 right now, and he just accepted my Pickens for his Drake London that I sent last week. I'll take London. Oh, one of those situations. Yeah, folks, if you send out trades, got to be aware of those trades. You can let them linger. There's sometimes, you'll get them later on after they linger, but make sure you're well aware of those, because if one of those players in that trade is injured, somebody can just go in there and accept it, and it could screw you. But no, I like London rest of season. I think it's good. Judson, yeah. Look at you. Just synonymous today, Judson. Love that. I'll hold those 2 RBs. Yeah, right there. Insane. You have Bijan too? Oh, it's an 8-man league. Maybe I'd do it. Maybe I'd do it. If it's an 8-man league and you have Bijan, I think I'd do it. I think I might do it. Maybe see if you can hold on to Kraft and just do, what were you looking at? It was Achane or Hampton. God, if they lose Joe Alt, if the Chargers lose Joe Alt, it hurts. It hurts to see like Hampton having 2 of their best linemen gone. But I like that team so much better than Achane. Like we saw, Tua got knocked out or something fell off. Achane kind of went away. So if it's between the 2, I think rest of the season I'm going to have Hampton above Achane. Half PPR, I think it's going to be Hampton over Achane. Full PPR, it's probably going to be him, but I don't mind it. If it's an 8-man league, you want to have as many of the best players, because everybody's roster is good in an 8-man league. Everybody's roster is pretty good in a 10-man league too. So you want to have difference makers. That would be Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I think I actually would take that back and hold on to Bijan and one of those other 2. Oh, we got a fellow Brian. What's happening? Brian, you spell it with a Y though. I've always been told not to trust Brian's with the Y. I'm an eye kind of guy, so we'll see how this goes for a little bit. I'm going to keep an eye on you, though. Did you trade CMC and Addison for Jacobs and Metcalf? No? And it's not Jacobs. I love Jacobs rest of season. I think he's top 5 for me rest of season. I was kind of just talking about him and Kraft. They are the 2 weapons on this offense. The wide receivers don't really... they're all right. They're all right for what NFL talent, but as far as fantasy, they don't really interest me. But CMC, that unreal workload. So him and Jacobs are kind of washed. So here it's between Addison and Metcalf. Addison will have some disappearing games, especially if JJ McCarthy cannot continue to evolve, and because Justin Jefferson's there. But Metcalf's kind of a smokescreen right now. Like, he has not gone over 24% target share at all this season. That's not good, because his numbers make it look a lot better than it is. And I don't necessarily see that changing, especially the way Aaron Rodgers talked about using Jalen Warren, and the way they not only use him in week 3, but the way they use Kenny Gainwell in week 4. Going into a bye week, they're going to continue to utilize these wide receivers, and we're seeing a third tight end become relevant now. Not relevant as far as fantasy goes, but Darrell Washington popping up, beating, or I think he was only 2 routes run below the other 2. So Metcalf, I'm kind of off on him. I'm kind of fading him going into the rest of the season. So I like your CMC Addison. Maybe you can swap out the wide receiver, get a better one. I'd do it, because you might be able to have a little bit more value on CMC than Jacobs as far as the names go. Dobbs or Slayton? Jackson's coming in here asking. I think Slayton's the floor, Dobbs is the ceiling. Maybe reverse that. PPR, I'd probably take Dobbs. Half PPR, I'd take Slayton. Somebody's going to be working into it. And we talked just a little bit ago about how the first read targets, I mean, granted, different quarterback, of course, different system as well, because we saw Jackson Dart running a different system this week than they did the prior 3 weeks. But someone's got to step up. Could it be Theo Johnson? Could it be little Darius Slayton? Dobbs will have 3 more relevant games. Can you pick them? Probably not. So, yeah, give me Slayton here. Judson coming back in. As long as you have B-Rob, hold CMC unless you get more. Yeah, 100%. That's what I was saying. Like, I think the name value on CMC is higher than Jacobs. So if you can get him to really cash in on a higher wide receiver over Addison, I could see making the trade. But yeah, CMC is just absolutely crushing as far as an opportunity standpoint. DFS, it's unreal what they're pricing him. Jacobs been fighting injury every week. That's okay. He's a tough SOB. He's got this. And you can't be telling me you're making an injury argument in favor of CMC. Come on. Extremo, trade Benson, JSN for Scat, Franklin, and Rice. Ooh. I was like, my nose was curling there as I was thinking about giving away JSN. I mean, not that Franklin's irrelevant, but Franklin's kind of irrelevant just for as far as this trade goes. He's a waiver wire piece. So we're swapping for Scat for Benson, which I like, and then Rice or JSN. Ooh. I think if this is the PPR league, it makes it a lot easier. I take the Rice Scatterbone side. Half PPR, I think it's a little bit more even for me. Oh, man. Benson, as we saw this past week, again, it's only one game, but they're still going to use DeMercado quite a bit. As far as the passing work, it just didn't go through Trey Benson this past week. A lot of that can change. It was only his first week without James Conner, so, temper those expectations a little bit. Scatterbone is going to get everything, especially with Tracy being out for a little bit. Man. If you can make it until Rice comes back, like if you're 4-0, 3-1 with a nice roster, yeah, give me Rashee Rice. Brenton and I, we talked way too much about him this summer, about how much we wanted Rashee Rice. So when that suspension came through, it smacked us in the mouth. We had to make some pivots, but it doesn't change my feelings for him in my rankings as soon as he becomes eligible. So I'd take it. All right, we got Beamer back. We got Puka, Ibuka, Neighbors. R.I.P. Got Warren, Kraft at tight. Oh, dang, you got Warren and Kraft? Herbert, Daniels at QB. I would probably give up Hampton or A-Chain along with Ladd. Oh, man. That's so much. You got to give away all 3? Or 3 players? Yeah, I'm cool with Kraft or Warren rest of season. Like, I think I've got Kraft above Warren. I don't remember. I think I've got Warren above Kraft now that I think of it, but like same tier, they're interchangeable. Love to get rid of Ladd over Tet. Ladd's peripheral metrics look good, but he doesn't necessarily have to bounce back because they have 2 other guys there, and Tet is just him. It is just him. And Bryce Young just technically got benched. Granted, it was only for a quarter or so, but he technically got benched. And last year, that's all it took. When he came back from a benching, he came back a beaten. So that's kind of what I'm hoping happens here. But yeah, one of those running backs, if you can get rid of H-An, Ladd, and Tucker Kraft for Amon-Ra, I could mess with that because then, yeah, that'd still leave you with Puka, Ibuka, and Amon-Ra. You'd have Warren, and then you got Herbert, Daniels, Hampton, and just hopefully... Oh, and you got Bijan, too. That's right. I forgot about that. I think I get Chuba back, or I could get Kittle off of him. See, I don't know if you need Kittle, though. Like, it's dope. It's dope that you've got Kraft and Warren, but outside of an injury, you're fine starting the same guy every single week. Even if, you don't have anybody for the bye week, it's 1 week you don't have a tight end, So I don't know that I necessarily try to get Kittle back just because, like, once I get, those last 3-ish weeks before you get to the playoffs, I like to clear out as much as my bench. I want to be able to have room for 1 extra defense so I can pick up a week ahead. And then I want just running backs. All running backs, maybe an extra quarterback every now and then, but I don't want to be clogging up with that extra tight end with some of those streamable wide receivers because as you get into the playoffs, you don't play those streamable wide receivers, so just get them off your bench. Let them fill up other places. Agreed. I think it's Ted is so due. Dude, it's right there. It's right there. And if not this year, it'll be next year because Bryce Young might be gone. As long as he learns to slide. Judson talking about Jackson's post here. Is Jackson Dart's rushing upside legit throughout the season? For the most part, I talked about he's got a great matchup this coming week. After that, again, it is 2 of the next 3 weeks against the Eagles. I'm not saying you can't rush against them. I'm just saying it's the Eagles, so it's not going to be the easiest game in the world. But I love Jackson Dart going forward. Really excited. It would be a lot more exciting if he had Malik Neighbors on the team, but it's not always. That's not what you're looking at. Look at Drake May. Drake May has no stud at wide receiver, and he's giving us top 5 performances. It's because of the rushing. So Jackson Dart was 13 for 20 through the air, a touchdown, 111 yards, and then 10 rushes for 54 yards. I believe 6 of them were designed runs, and the other 4 were scrambles. It's great. Again, I kind of talked about this offense being different than it was with Russell Wilson. Obviously, they morphed it, they changed a little bit. And Brian Dable had a great season with Daniel Jones before he tore the ACL. That was kind of like the reason he got paid. He got divvied out that money because he kind of revitalized that offense. And they made the playoffs that year, didn't they? I don't remember. It's been so long. It's been so bad there. But either way, yeah, I think Jackson Dart's going to be real. Single quarterback leagues, I'm not rushing out to go get him. Just because, like I said, I think the ceiling is capped as far as Malik Neighbors not being there. But Superflex, I'm a big fan of him, definitely. Yeah, but like Justin said, as long as because he got checked for a concussion this past week, and there's a few times it doesn't really help him that he watched Scatterbone run because obviously when Scatterbone's running, that's how he uses. He's the juggernaut dropping his head, so it's not helping him. Having Scat as lead blocker was sick. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We get just head down and both of them just running forward, looking to spear something. But Superflex leagues, I think he's worth the pickup. Maybe not necessarily for you, Jackson, like you specifically for your home league or your Superflex league. Maybe let him sit there for a week or two. I bet nobody's going to put out a bid, so maybe you don't touch him. Don't touch him. It's little brother, folks. I'm trying to stay away. Oh, VBZ, what's happening? I got Hampton and Deebo for Gibbs, Jennings, or Higgins? Okay, wait. So you've got London, Olave, and Pickens. Dope. Love the 3. Got Hampton and Deebo, and I guess we're trading them for Gibbs, Jennings. I'd hold tight. Like I'd chill. If Jennings, I imagine Juwan Jennings, he got hurt again this past week. I haven't checked the. It's only Tuesday, so we're still waiting for some concrete information. But he got hurt twice. Listed as non-participant in Monday's practice. So yeah, if it's Juwan Jennings, don't really want that. Higgins, whether it's the rookie Higgins for the Texans or T Higgins, I don't want either one of them. T Higgins, I'm out. Like rest of the season, I'm out. Like there's going to be some value. There's going to be some good games, but as far as owning him, knowing when to start him, you're not. You're just flat out not. And Deebo, despite his old age, him looking fat at training camp or whatever it was, McLaurin's gone. Cliff Kingsbury, their OC, he does a lot of work right there by the line of scrimmage, and that's kind of how Deebo, he thrives. Give him the ball and just let him do his thing. So if you've got Hampton, you've got Deebo, London, Olave, Pickens, I'd chill. Unless you're just not able to start Deebo, London, Olave, Pickens. It's not bad though to have a rotational because Olave doesn't feel like an every week start, despite the ridiculous amount of targets that he has. So I'd hold pat. Like it's so much fun to trade. I get it. I love it. But that's why you join like 5-ish leagues so that you have a little bit more chance to do those things. But if you're just trading trade because you're feeling the itch, I'd hold on. Deebo's going to feed when Jaden Daniels gets back and no Terry. That's what it's been so far. I know Terry's recorded some snaps so far this season, but he hasn't been out there. It's been ridiculous. Deebo, I'd like to say a huge miss. Not I'd like to. He definitely was a huge miss for me coming into draft season, but as we got more of that clarity on McLaurin, I kind of changed my tune a little bit. I just wish I would have got a little bit more of him during draft season because I don't want to trade for Deebo. As much as I'd love to have him on my team, he's not somebody I feel safe enough to actually go trade. Start Woody Marks or Scatterbone next week. Flex Johnston, Worthy, scatter marks. I think who did I say? Woody Marks gets the Rams and Scatterbone gets New Orleans. Like I said, I've still got another hour before I'll drop my official rankings for the week. So let me see what I've got in here as of now. Got Scatterbone at running back 14. And I got Woody Marks at RB 24. So I'd put Scatterbone in. That's what I've got of now. Flex, I go Johnston. He's been great. Worthy looked awesome. Really excited to have him back out there in the field. But QJ has been great. Absolutely great. So I think that's kind of the direction I'm going on that one. Ladder Deebo. Oh, it's easy Deebo. Easy Deebo. I don't know why you drafted Lad. Jackson, I told you. We're fading Deebo this year. Or not Deebo. We're fading Lad this year. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Look at him. He jumps in here halfway through the waiver season and he thinks he's going to get the help he needs. No, man. It's draft season. Beamer, what you got here? I honestly think I hold Anchan for this week to see what it looks like. Weakest matchup this week for me in fantasy, so I don't need Amon-Ra right now. Yeah, hey, if again, just like I was telling the other guy, don't force the trade. If you're looking good, hold on. Make sure you're roster turning and moving those things and paying attention to it because you don't want to start 10-0 and all of a sudden crap the bed there at the end of the season. But if you're looking good, roll through it. Okay, so big update here. Just been offered Jacobs and Amon-Ra for Johnson, Kittle, and Achane. Go ahead and hit click. Yes, we'll go. We're gonna do this together, everybody. Come on. BMW's gonna hit yes. Do it. Yeah. Jacobs top 5 rest of the season. Amon-Ra top 5 rest of the season. Johnson kind of gonna rake him as a top 12 rest of the season. Kittle, he's old, coming off the injury. I still like him rest of the season. Yeah. No, Amon-Ra is just so much more safe than QJ. And I think between Achane and Jacobs, it's almost a toss-up there. BMW, yes. Justin, it feels like robbery. It might be. It might be a little. I mean, you're not giving them terrible pieces. Giving up. Giving up QJ and Achane, Kittle. Those are all good pieces. I don't hate them, but yeah, Jacobs and Amon-Ra, give it to me. Looks like we're doing it, folks. We're gonna pull the trigger. Yeah, awesome. That's about out. That's about it, folks. It's about all we have here. So yeah, like I said, if you hit us up with any more questions, any more comments, I'll be here back. It should be with Brenton next week, but otherwise it might just be me. Every single Tuesday during the season, we're doing a live stream here, 3 o'clock Eastern time. It'll be me and or Brenton going over the waiver wire stuff or general questions, trades, chats, just a little bit of everything here. Of course, check out the other YouTube channel. It's Too Much Fantasy Football over there, where I drop all of my content, whatever I don't put over here on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. So thank you for that as well. Giving us a like, give us a subscribe if you like it. There we go. We got some chats coming in. Yep, little shout out from Jackson. We love it. We'll see if that gets vetoed. Oh, if you guys have a veto, I have a huge issue with. We'll get into that next week. Huge issue with veto leagues. Absolutely hate it. Thanks all, Judson, BMW, Jamie. We had so many people in the chat. We thank you all for keeping it rocking and rolling for us. It was a lot of fun. Again, check out the other thing. We got the podcast over there, Too Much Fantasy Football. I do multiple episodes a week. We've got betting stuff, and hey, we've been pretty hot on the props lately. Last week wasn't as great as our near undefeated week 3, but we're hitting it hard. We're hitting it fast. We appreciate y'all, and that's it. I'm out of here. They're shining the light at me, telling me to leave, so I've got to do it. So I'll see y'all next time, and thanks for listening. Later.